what made you switch from being an employee to starting an agency?
Four years of getting paid for marketing and designing softwares, I felt like abhi ho gaya, I don't want to continue doing this, I want to do something else. Moved to Manipal, which is where I also studied.
Right.
Wanted to open a cafe there. Got a place, planned a few things, deposit, rent, commercially, sab karna chalu kar diya uske liye, but then COVID hit. And for 2 months I was kind of hopeful, but somewhere in the back of my mind I knew that now I'm stuck here, I have a long lease to take care of, plus money to earn because I had not been earning for a while. The only route I had was to use whatever I knew as an agent because there was no way. Work from home was not popular back then. Nobody was doing remote work or whatever.
Right.
The thought of sitting in Manipal and working for some other company was not very obvious in my head. What was key, you can be an agent and do that. So that's how we started. It was not really planned. It was more out of need, necessity based.
But eventually, when we started up, we wanted to be a product company. We had a few product ventures, realized that it's very hard to bootstrap a product. We need cash flow. And for which we built an agency. And agency gave us cash flow. So
What are the pros of staying in a stable job? And what is the opportunity cost you would have if you quit, started an agency or started freelancing?
So the pros, other than money, like a lot of people just think about the money that you get month on month. But understand, when you're working in a startup or a company, what you get in return is not just the money, but the exposure to so many talented people across who's working with you as colleagues. And I think that shapes you up differently. Like, I would say I was dumb when I was working in an agency, but what shaped me truly as a marketer or as a someone who can really add value to someone, I think that was to do with the colleagues that I had back in the days, like the mentors I got, the managers I got in touch with. I think I should have not done an MBA, join a startup. That I would have learned it much better, I think, just by managers. So a lot of people not think in that way. I think people should.
Yeah.
No, I think employment brings a certain kind of community with it where you spend 8 to 10 hours a day, which is always a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to have. When you are doing something on your own, you usually don't get that. You have to build it, like wait it out over a bit of time once you have a team bigger.
Yeah. Initially, it's fairly isolating. Yeah, because I remember everything that I ever know about marketing is because of that one copywriting plus client servicing job that I had. And it's not so much, I was doing the job, so I learned it. It's just the environment and the colleagues and all of that taught me that.
There's
so
this other side to it where I think I love the agency life because you're not stuck with the same community for a real.
Yeah.
If you do a good job of building relationships, you end up
That's for sure.
making a lot of community with your partners more than
Yeah.
just one.
But then you're not spending your 8 hours a day with them.
Yeah, you're not.
You're not spending your 8 hours a day with the same set of people. You're not absorbing as deeply as an employee would.
But when you move to a startup where things are a little bit more transparent than working in an MNC, things are a little bit transparent. Things are happening in front of you guys, and you have the right to speak there and change few things.
Yeah.
So I think when it was focused in one environment and you had to solve 10 problems, you grow and I think add value much faster, and then in return you get more experience in return.
When did you hit 40 lakhs first?
I hit my 40 lakh when I moved to UAE, Dubai, to work for a D2C brand. It's a luxury beauty and cosmetics brand called Diesel Beauty. That's when I hit my first 40L.
What year was this?
Starting at 23. Yeah.
So I hit my first 40 when I paid it myself in the second half of 2021. That's when I was running an agency, and that's how it happened.
I hit 40 lakhs in 2019 when I consulted for the first half with US clients, and then I moved back to Abhinav Lab and built an agency for performance marketing. Insanely profitable, very good contracts. I was able to take 40 years in that financial year.
I had 40 lakhs in 2020 when I was freelancing with a Canadian client and they paid me $5,000 for copywriting. Walk us through your career trajectory, role, salary, year.
I started my career in 2015, worked with a company called Metal. I was in the marketing team. I was getting paid 5.5 lakhs. 1 year later, I joined a company called Wingify, 9.5 lakhs, and then it quickly bumped up to 10.5 lakhs. We are still in 2016-17. Post that, I took a small pay cut, minor pay cut, and joined a company called File. There, the journey went from, say, 10.5 to moving to around 2021. And then I took a small break around 6 months, came back, started an agency, didn't earn anything for a really long period of time. In 2021, took a lump sum of roughly 40. Post that, I think it was the same for next year in the agency also. Then we got acquired, worked for a company called Goodera. Again, my role was mostly marketing, but then we also did a little bit of design and product part with Houseman. My salary was 75. I was getting paid 50 fixed plus 25.
I started my career in 2016. I moved to Bangalore, started working with a company called Your Story. I was paid 15,000 rupees a month. Avalon Labs, 2017, made zero for a bit. Then started taking 26,000 rupees a month. 2018, I parted my ways with Avalon Lab, ventured out on my own, did consulting. I was like a one-man show. Then 6 months later, I got back into Avalon, built the agency wing for them. Collectively in that year, everything combined, all the fluctuation combined was about 40 lakhs. So late 2019, early 2020, we raised some money for this company called Avalon Meta, which was an education company. When you raise money, you're sort of taking salary from the funding. It comes down. I was making 1.5 lakh per month, about 18 LPA. 2020, I made 18 LPA. 21, 18, 22, 18, 23, 18. Sold the company to an academy, made zero. Then went out, started consulting. I still consult with companies. I make somewhere around 50 lakhs a year right now.
Okay. So I'm a DJ turned marketer. A lot of people don't know that. And then I went and joined my uncle's business. It was an iron business. And my role was like doing everything from payments, managing the labors, production and everything, all in all. I was getting 15K a month there. It must be 2015, 16 in between that. So my mom noticed that, yeah, if you so want to do music, why don't you become a DJ? I went into the DJing career and I was making good money there. I would say roughly a month I was making 2 lakh and it was too much for me. Because I was able to help those event managers sell out their shows online. Creating those Facebook events, boosting it, promoting it, getting more tickets in and stuff. And that's how I used to get a lot of my shows as a DJ. So while in this 2 years of stint of doing DJing, I think I made around 35 lakh to 30 lakh in between that. A year, yeah. That's that.
This was which year?
15, 16. And that's when I decided to do my MBA to learn the core of marketing. My idea was not to go to an IIM. So I got into a decent college in Delhi, spent 2 years there. I got my first job that was with Colgate. It was a pure sales job, 6.25 a year. And then I got in touch with few of my roommates, friends who was building an agency. I think I took another cut in my salary. And that was at the cost of learning. I think roughly I was making hardly 35K a month. It was for a few months and then he offered me a partnership because I was bringing in a lot of clients for him. And these were like QSR clients and restaurant clients like Burko's, Burgrill, Hudson Chopstick from 19 to 21. My take home was 1.5 something. And then COVID hit and I was like, yeah, this agency is not working out. The restaurants were shut. We're making not great amount of money and I had to quit. Then I started working with startups. That's where I think I started feeling myself that I can add value. I can really add value.
2022, you started working with Bombay Shaving.
Yeah.
What did you make?
8 or 9 LPA, I think. And then from there on, I moved to work with India's leading pet care brand called Heads of Hotels, which is a callback startup. And there were roughly 12, 15 I was making around that range. And from there, for 6 months, I did this consulting, you can say. It was a London-based company called EBQT, 22 end. A good stint. There I roughly made 26 or 26 around. Made a quit in between and moved to Dubai. And that's why I hit my first 40. Had some family issues. I had to come back to India. Now I'm consulting.
In 2017, I started as a copywriter. I used to make 25,000 rupees a month. 2019, I moved to client servicing in the same agency. I used to make 35 to 40,000. I quit. I started up. In the startup, I made zero. I made $5,000 a month when I was consulting with a Canadian client. And then I took up a full-time job at a place called Play Shifu in 2021, and I used to make about 18 lakhs there. In 2022, I moved to this place called Home Lane, and today I make about 20-25 lakhs.
It's also interesting how people, break through or breach through that 40 lakhs barrier. For you, it was the Canadian dollar arbitrage. The man hours are very expensive in Canada. You were able to cash in on that sitting in India. For me, at first it happened because of running a business and stacking clients. Now it's happening because I understand a certain nuance and I offer a very specialized set of solution to an Indian company. For you, it's happening because of the dirham arbitrage.
Not arbitrage, was staying there. So, but yeah, you can say that.
I mean, Dubai is much more expensive. The man hours in Dubai are
More expensive, yeah. But you're expensive also now. Yeah, these are
Okay,
expensive.
but that's what you.
That's how you broke through that ceiling.
There is also one more thing. It's not just you could go to Dubai and you start making 40L. It's not like that. I think you have to be close to the money making process as a marketer. Like same thing goes back. You have to understand business, align with the founder that hey, I can make you that X amount of money, I can add that value, and then they give you that fat paycheck, and you're responsible for that money to come in. I think that's the way. So when you start off, you're like, yeah, I have this 10 to-do list. I'll just do that, go back home, sleep, play some video games, and I'm done. But then when you shift the mindset, hey, this money is not coming. On a Saturday night when you wake up, I'm not promoting toxicity, but on Saturday night when you're working for a startup and when you open the laptop and say that, hey, the sale didn't perform good, what is not working? And Monday you have answers for the team, or maybe you have answers for yourself. I think when you start making that shift and really think from the founder's mindset, or they really want to grow that business up, what's not working, and maybe going to the product team and say, hey, this XYZ things, can we experiment with this?
Sure.
That mindset comes in. I think when you go in an interview, go with a different mindset. And then that's when you are allowed to get that fat paycheck.
What do you think will help you reach that 40L mark?
I really don't know what makes people pay a lot, but for sure, एक दो चीजें हैं. For example, if you know that your time spent on solving this problem is gonna create a certain impact, and उस impact का size बहुत बड़ा.
10x, 20x.
Yeah, 10x. X से ज़्यादा you look at the absolute dollar value of it, because we are talking an absolute dollar value which is 40 lakhs over.
Yeah.
So the absolute dollar value is very high. And you know what kind of percentage. See, at some point you've paid people. You've paid people for doing well versus not doing well, right? And you know what you paid for, right? So far in my life, I've been a very justified manager and pay ways. So if somebody brought in a certain amount of value, I'll always compensate them for that. I think that's what worked for me. So if you can make an impact that's big enough, you will get rewarded big enough. And there are times when you won't, and at that time it's better to just step away and find a place which rewards you.
Have you ever felt like going back to becoming an employee after you became an agency?
I don't think I ever felt like it, but I did that. I did that anyway. I did that, and it took me exactly 365 days to get out of it again. If you ask me today, I don't want to be an employee.
Ever?
I don't think so. It has to be an exceptionally. There's no feeling is final, so I wouldn't say that we go ahead with this and say, employee ka bhi nahi banna. But filhal, I'm in that mindset where I don't like the idea of being an employee. I like having more control, doing things I want to do, and being in charge. So that's my thing. That's a very personal takeaway.
Yeah. What about you?
Full-time employee? I won't straight out put a cross on it. Maybe if it's just at the top of the food chain. For me, the food chain matters and where you are on it. There's a hierarchy somewhere at the top. Because I think some big organizations can give you more leverage than you can build out for yourself in a set time duration. So if something crazy mad comes my way, I won't say no.
Right.
But it has to meet a lot of checkboxes. One of the foremost of the ones of them is food chain.
Does education really matter when you're running a business or doing a job?
No.
But doing a job, yes. There was this ecosystem in 2015, 2016 where it was pretty clear that if you didn't have the IIT IIM pedigree, you wouldn't get your first round. So pedigree matters when you are in a very immense competition and people want some sort of a filter to select or reject you, where your corresponding pedigree, your past career can be pedigree. Hey, like I'm the marketing head of South India region for Colgate. That helps you stand out. Pedigree and its implications are not a joke, it's a real phenomenon.
Right.
But you can bypass that using some way.
I would agree to this because I think I got access to a lot of these brands that I worked with just because I had the back portfolio of working with these multiple brands.
Previous brands.
Previous brands like doing an MBA and MBA getting me access to Colgate, to showing off Colgate to running agencies and then going around and say I work with Colgate so I know XYZ and stuff like that. I think it does matter when you're doing a job. It is just like access to a gate.
Yeah.
Show off and then you have to really work
Fair.
back again.
Fair. Yeah, for early entry in your career, if that's your aspiration, then yeah, most definitely, because your resume will get filtered out.
Because you don't have any work experience.
Yeah, your resume
Just
will
go by your IT.
your pedigree. But I think to start a business, what you said is a very specific case in terms of
In a job, yes. In a job, definitely.
For raising money and stuff.
That
But I
is
think
fair.
if I am a business owner, if I had to run a services agency,
Yeah.
I just need proof of work. I need proof of work, and I need companies probably that I work for this company or I work for that company. I don't necessarily need an MBA. I don't necessarily also need an MBA. I started a kids brand. It was like a preschool business. So I didn't need an MBA to run that. And
Sure.
it would not have mattered for me to have an MBA. So business, maybe startup, I think maybe MBA or education would matter. But to run a business, I'm not sure if it would really
So
matter.
I'll tell you when it would matter in a business. I recently saw this startup called Mesa School of Business.
Okay?
If you've gone through the landing page, it says backed by so many investors, which a lot of people have started putting on landing page. They put a list of 50 investors, backed by Shah, backed by this, backed by that. Then they also put, and okay, founders are from Kellogg's and Stanford and Harvard and all that. So this pedigree, and this enables them, okay, a Harvard dude is teaching me, it matters to the student. It makes the student pay the exorbitant fee that they charge of around, 10-15 lakhs. So to build trust, you need some trust factors. It happens to be so that your college is a trust factor as well. And I'm not saying MBA is a pedigree. An MBA, if it's not from IIM, it's not a pedigree. Nobody cares. Yeah. Because
Who said, one second, if you do an MBA outside of India from an NCR or an ISB, it matters.
I agree. Harvard also matters. Everything matters. Stanford matters. I'm just talking about an MBA from a tier 2 college in India is not a pedigree because everyone does it.
Right.
It's become commoditized. What signal do I have when I'm looking at a business or anyone to build a relationship with, as a customer or as a partner or as an investor? What is that signal that you have that helps you stand out, and then I can bet on you versus the 99 others that I have options of? So that's where pedigree matters. Whether you get it out of college or elsewhere, it's totally up to you.
Yeah, so I think for the part you said, education is a part of your pedigree earlier in your career.
It's not the only thing.
Yeah.
Is the pedigree.
That is the only thing that you have.
As you grow further, as you have more work experience, a larger body of work, the pedigree education becomes slightly outdated, not so relevant.
Right.
So maybe after a while, it's not that important, but in the beginning, it will be wrong to say that education does not matter. Pedigree always matters. Pedigree is your reputation, more or less. Post your education, the kind of work you do, the kind of places you worked at, the people you have worked with, the kind of goals you have achieved, that is your pedigree, right? That is your body of work.
Fair.
In your
I have an interesting take here as well. I think a lot of people didn't look at this in this way, like pedigree and all this matter, because like an employee mindset, we go on job hunts. And a lot of these job offerings, if you see, startups especially do that, founded by IITs and stuff like that. That's also an interesting thing. Like you attract a lot of human resources as well. It's an important challenge to solve for these people. So if you have something to show off and you have nothing, you can probably for a average guy who's looking out a job, you have like two opening, everyone is saying paying the same, and I'm a fresher. It doesn't matter where I go right now. I would choose to be around IIM or IIT guys to really nurture myself. So yeah, it does help for business people to attract human resource.
Yeah, fair. That's a very good point.
Yeah, everybody is thinking, okay, my founder is IIM.
Yeah. Also, anyway, founder is equal to Bhagwan.
The lecture hall can he bring into me because I couldn't go into
हमारे पास attendance requirement नहीं होती, साल भर बंद कर देते। नहीं, but
वो जब जाएगा वो reality तो अलग चीज है ना, ये तो illusion है.
But then getting into IIM and IITs is like smart.
Sure, you get very good people. You get a good network.
Yeah.
In Heads of Hotels, I was
besides your community, right?
Yes.
Fair.
You have a solid community of people.
Alumni is another thing.
Yeah. Okay, that's a wrap. Thank you.
That's a wrap.